Welcome to the HeelCast. It's been a little bit. Sorry we weren't on last week, but some things came up. But we are here this week, ready to talk some GFW Impact and all the crazy news headlines that we've been hearing about this past 2 weeks. Oh, boy. But joining me, your man Hurls, the Faptastic one, is Robert Does Wrestling. Robert, how you doing?
Man, I am doing quite good. Today is a great day. Today is my 10-year anniversary ever since I joined the Armed Forces. So today is a day of celebration. I'm doing the HeelCast. So what could be better than that?
I don't think anything could be better than that, Robert. I'm glad that you're celebrating your 10th anniversary in the Armed Forces on the HeelCast. That is something in itself. So my props to you, friend. Anyways, I want to get some shout outs in. Robert Does Wrestling. Robert, why don't you tell us about your show and where you can find it?
Yeah, you can find it on youtube.com. You can go ahead and search for Robert Does Wrestling. I basically do Impact reviews. Now my schedule is around Saturday, something like that. And I also do guitar covers of the best GFW themes. So be on the lookout for that type of stuff. I'm working on the Jeff Jarrett one. And I'm also working on the 10-year anniversary, review or overview of the best matches of the Knockouts division that is going to be happening on October 14th. So be sure to check out my channel. Give it a try.
Definitely. I also want to give a shout out to BQ and the King of the Mountain podcast. He's doing some great things, uploading content every day. He does his little King of the Mountain section. It's about 10 minutes long. He's doing some great work. So keep watching BQ and the King of the Mountain podcast, because I certainly do. Also, I want to give a shout out to FK9 Fool Killer. Check him out on YouTube. He does a podcast weekly. He's been doing it for just as long as about anybody. So give him a view. Also want to give a shout out to impactasylum.net. That is the safe haven for all GFW Impact fans. You can go there. There's no Mecca, I believe, anymore. So Impact Asylum is it. Go there. There's a bunch of columns. You can generally find the HeelCast on that website. So, but anyways, definitely go there. Other than that, you can find our once formerly known as Numeral 47. He used to be on the HeelCast. He does the Diva Dirt. Check him out. He writes columns there. So other than that, we tried to get Ebony on. We tried to get the Ebony and Ivory show back going, but we weren't unfortunately able to get her on tonight. So hopefully we'll get her on a future HeelCast episode. But we got Robert as well. So it's going to be a great show. Me and Robert, we're going to talk about everything GFW. We're going to get down to it. So the last 2 weeks of news for GFW were pretty rough. We have this guy from Sports Illustrated, Justin Barrasso, comes out with an article. Mind you, he's the only one that comes out with this article. Not even Dave, the almighty Dave Meltzer himself, didn't even come out with this article. He claims that GFW is hemorrhaging money and they're losing money, just a ton of money, and that Anthem, the company that owns GFW, is ready to sell. So, we're all looking at this and reading more of the article, he then starts to go on this diatribe of what does WWE get out of this? Obviously, they want the tape library, blah, blah, blah. It's the same crap we've been hearing for the last year or so. And then he starts to go on and say, oh, this is great for the broken hearties because now they can use the Broken Hardy gimmick in WWE. Oh my goodness, I love it. This guy sounds like any one of your other typical WWE fanboys. So I got to ask you, Robert, when you read this article, what was going through your head at this point?
I was like laughing because the kind of claims they make, that this is actually a quote. I have this on my computer, and this is a quote. GFW is hammering funds, and sources close to the situation have confirmed that Anthem is ready to withdraw itself from the wrestling industry and sell GFW. Doom and gloom or something like that. The end is near. Give up on GFW. More than anything, it sounds like some fear mongering or something like that. Don't watch that trash GFW because they're gonna go under and blah 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 blah. I do not believe in those type of rumors. By the way, I will fully support GFW if they were to at least gave them some time to retract this story. But I will sue them if I wasn't sure. I will sue them. That type of false reporting, like saying, hey, they are hemorrhaging funds, they are bleeding. There were a rumor like saying that they were missing waste hammering like almost $1 million weekly. That is total bull. The numbers of how much TNA was worth in the year 2016 came out during the whole Billy Corgan trial, and TNA was worth less than $6 million. How can a company can even survive missing wasting $1 million in how long? 6 months? Something like that? No, that is, way out there. And, there's the propaganda part, of course. I think this type of article shows how much influence the Hardys have with the journalists. That's why we got a lot of articles praising the Hardys and the broken gimmick and blah 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 blah. But all of that came because Matt seems to be connected with the big journalists, at least on Huffington Post and Sports Illustrated. Remember, they not that long ago did an article about how Reby Hardy, she was fighting against the evil GFW Impact, and she was standing up and blah 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 blah. I do not believe in this stuff. It fails the measuring contest. It looks like your typical propaganda that a fanboy will repeat, because it's like a dream of them to have WWE being the owner of the whole wrestling, of the world wrestling, at least in the United States. I don't know why. Why would anyone want a monopoly? That is way beyond me. I don't think GFW does any harm to them, to be honest, because it is quite small at this moment in time. But I don't know why this whole fetish over WWE owning everything. What are your thoughts about that, Matt?
I don't like it. I don't like anybody who has that type of attitude. I don't think they're a true wrestling fan. I think they pick their wrestling companies like they pick their sports teams. And, that's fine if you just want to watch one specific type of wrestling show, but don't be wishing death upon another company just trying to make it in the game that we're all kind of connected with. I think that's the part where I kind of draw the line with it. And I think it's just a shame that, there's a lot of people that have that attitude towards it. And I just think it's messed up, and, it's just really, it's just immature and childish. Like, I don't go on to WWE fan sites and just troll their people who like it. If it's a general wrestling discussion and I see something from both shows, I will, give a good criticism of it, but I'm not going on there just to troll, which I see a lot of different, people on, whether it be Facebook or message boards or fan sites, that they'll just go on there and troll whatever, the specific topic that day. So the whole story was, it was just a bunch of BS. And the thing that I thought was really interesting was Justin Barrasso said he knew employees at Anthem, but the way he said it made it sound like he knew them in a past tense, meaning that they don't work there anymore. So I think it was just ridiculous. Going on to our next news story that has to tie into this one was Ed Nordholm showed up on the Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer podcast and basically just debunked everything that Justin Barrasso came out with. And was Justin Barrasso right on certain things? Man, not really. But, Ed Nordholm's kind of set the record straight here. He basically, he told it like it was. And I recommend everybody go on there on YouTube and type Ed Nordholm, Dave Meltzer interview on YouTube and listen to this. It's about 38 minutes long. He gave a really, really good description of where the company is, where they're trying to go, new revenue streams they're trying to do, possible more house shows in 2018. He answered pretty much every question that, we're all kind of thinking after this stupid report from Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated. So, Justin Barrasso, he got lit up on Twitter. He got lit up from a lot of people, and then he made some kind of BS apology, or he basically called us a very vocal small group of fans that were very passionate about GFW. Mm-hmm. See, even when he's apologizing, he's still trying to degrade GFW. So this guy is he's full of crap. The guy's just a complete tool bag, and we've we just seen it in his reaction to this. So, Robert, did you listen to the interview with Ed Nordholm and Dave Meltzer?
Yeah, I listened to the interview. It was not bad. I need to rewatch it just to, say that I watched it because Ed Nordholm was there and try, say something nasty about Dave Meltzer because he deserved it. But that's beside the point. He is, Ed Nordholm. That is something that I like about him, is that he is a not nonsense guy. He will go to, to the Blue Falcon nest, the worst place available. You go to the enemy camp, which is the Wrestling Observer newsletter. He went there and hold his own against two notorious GFW haters, Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. So he did the right thing, and that is that led up to another thing that I would like to point out, is that Ed Nordholm or GFW do not have to put up with this type of false reporting, fake news, and abuse. Dixie Carter was somehow too nice, and she put up with a lot of stuff. I still remember, at Christmas that she was uploading a picture with one of family. She was like underage or something like that. And the type of nasty abuse she received on Instagram, Ed Nordholm or GFW nor their roster has to put up with that type of stuff. And I fully salute Ed Nordholm on doing the right thing and fighting, those type of false reports, because they will build upon, and people will, come up with some sort of conspiracy theories. They were saying, no, that means that, GFW is lying at this moment, because, in the past, let's say during the Dixie Carter era, they did not came clean about the whole ending of the Spike deal. Therefore, they are known liars. Yes, at that moment in time, you cannot use the past of some other administration to pin all those things on the new, honor. That is not the way, the world works. Not because my father did something wrong, I have to receive, I gotta go to jail because he did a crime. No, that doesn't work like that. GFW is now run by the Fight Network, and at this moment in time, they need to be as clean as possible. Why? Because they are trying to rebuild trust, something that Ed Nordholm was talking about during the Wrestling Observer show. So I am amazed at the type of, conspiracy theories people are coming up with, like, Ed Norton is a liar and blah 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 blah. No, those, you're pinning, somebody else's sin and mistake upon the new administration, which it is totally dishonest and show how bankrupt their way of thinking truly is.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, definitely. I think this story was it just seemed like a total hit job. And I'm really glad that Ed Nordholm, he went and did this interview right away to kind of squash it, because we've seen with Dixie Carter, she'll just let these reports, float out there, and then, all the trolls just keep, hounding her, and she doesn't squash anything. She just kind of lets it build up. So, props to Ed for going out there and just setting the record straight, because I think that's what you got to do, especially, in 2017 with GFW. So, all right, moving on. Our next report was also kind of a shocking one. It basically came out that last week that Jeff Jarrett was removed from head of creative. The report said it was an extended leave of absence. Doing more research on it, was apparent that Jeff Jarrett was drunk at the recent AAA Triple Mania, and I guess he was just very sloppy in the ring. He was kind of stumbling down the steps. So there, and that was kind of the final straw for Ed to kind of give him a break and make, hopefully he gets better. One of the first causes of this was his backstage blow up with Bob Ryder. And I guess that was kind of what started all this. In the last few years, it's been kind of reported that Jeff has had some problems on the independent circuit. I know he had a problem with. Oh boy, I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. I believe it was Ian Rotten's son or Axel Rotten's son. I can't remember. It was one of them. He was at an indie show, and I know they were saying that Jeff was drunk at the time and Karen was drunk. They both were drunk, and I guess it wasn't a good situation. Also, the drunk the possible, I'm not going to say these exist, but the possible drunk text messages to Rebby Hardy. Now, we don't know if these existed or not. Rebby claims, she has a bunch of them saved and she could dish them out at any time. I don't know, but
let me interrupt you right there, Matt.
Sure.
Is that called blackmail? What you just described?
Yes, that would be blackmail. Correct.
Okay. Keep going.
Yes. Rebby would. Oh, excuse me there. But Jeff Jarrett's had some type of issues going on lately, and this was just, Ed wants him to kind of recharge the battery and get healthy and get sober, and hopefully he will be back. So Robert, before we talk about the changes of who's coming in to replace him, let's just talk about this situation specifically. What did you think of this story when you first read this?
The whole Jeff Jarrett, thing leaving. I don't, I am, obviously kind of sad to see him, take a leave of absence, but I think he will be back. If he has some demons, let him, work that stuff out. What I am not in favor, it is obviously blackmail, which it is illegal. Who, by the way, she meaning Rebby, she tweeted a while back on May 16 that actually Jeff Jarrett was the one blackmailing people into fighting his battles for him. Guess what? The one who's blackmailing people by holding information over the top of their head is her. Meaning, you do as I can. If not, I'm gonna use this damaging information to attack you, which it is a federal crime. Hopefully, she's not that dumb, but you should not be giving advice, while people are doing dumb stuff. But either way, I found it disgusting that people, are celebrating, especially GFW haters celebrating, oh, this is, Jeff Jarrett is a drunk and he just got fired and he's a train wreck and blah, blah, blah. These people have, zero morals, zero ethics, zero empathy, especially for someone like Jeff Jarrett, who, may I remind you, he lost his first wife 10 years ago. Just saying. When he was, around the time of Slammiversary 2007. So, this guy have been through ups and downs, and, let him fix that type of stuff and let him, return back to his home, which is Impact.
Yeah, no, I agree. I hope he gets the help he needs. I know he's been tweeting. He's been doing some DDP yoga, so that's a good thing. We all hope that Jeff gets, better physically and mentally, and hopefully he can come back and, do what he does best, and that's put on a great wrestling show. And hopefully we can see him back in the ring for a few more matches. I'd be totally down for that. So from the heel, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, before you miss out, who do you think is gonna replace him on the whole MMA deal that they are doing? American Top Team versus GFW. Who do you think is gonna fill those shoes?
Well, depending on how fast everything goes down, who knows? They might not have to replace him, but I have no idea. I mean, no clue with the whole Dan Lambert feud. I don't have an idea of how they're going to do that. So that would be that. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a question also for the audience. You have an idea, go ahead and post it in the comment section below.
Definitely. So from the HeelCast, we hope you get better, Jeff, because we definitely want to see you. This is your baby. This is your creation. And we want to see you see through it. So hopefully you'll be back soon. Anyways, so with Jeff Jarrett out as of right now, we got some shakeups in the creative team. I mean, not a lot, but coming in to oversee creative is, I know it's Raven Effect's favorite guy. And you know how much I feel about this guy. Is big old John Gaburik back in the head of creative with his, thankfully, two other guys that are in big creative situations are Scott Demore and Sanjay Dutt. So I guess we kind of balance out John Gaburik's creative perfection with, so to speak, with Scott Demore and Sanjay Dutt. So, Robert, how do you feel about this team?
Ooh, John Gaburik. Oh, God. Why? First they brought me in, Jim Cornette, someone who I dislike a lot. And now they're bringing me in Big John. Oh, God. Hopefully, things go well. And he just, do like the overseeing, like, let's say, put his firm and that's it. And he doesn't change the plans and the ideas of Scott Demore and Sanjay Dutt. I'm gonna be still, waiting to see. John Gaburik. Oh God. Well, maybe he can prove me wrong. Maybe he can prove all of us wrong. So it might not be, what I wanted, but let's wait and see. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna give him a second chance. I'm gonna be a good guy this time around. I'm gonna give him a second chance. Go ahead, Matt.
All right. I'm not a huge John Gaburik fan. His idea of a wrestling show is, it's just match upon match upon match upon match, and you got to be more creative. I just don't think he finds ways to make the show as exciting as it possibly can be. I love matches, don't get me wrong, but there has to be a storyline to back it up, and there has to be a storyline that will make the matches more exciting and mean more. I'm hopefully, John will give us that, but in the past, I mean, some of the things that were under his watch were the world title series, and that was horrible. I mean, you remember the world title series, right, Robert?
Yes.
I mean, we had to watch canned matches for like close to 3 months. It was really hard because that's all it was. I mean, it was an interesting concept, but it was something that you could have done like on a one night only show. Or if GFW had a second show at that time, that would have been a great time to do it. But for Impact, it was hard to watch. And John Gaburik, he thought that was good. I don't know if he thought that was good wrestling television, but it was a struggle. So
yeah.
It was a struggle.
Do you remember Abyss coming from under the ring during the the Magnus Samoa Joe matches? Oh God!
Yes. It was just rough altogether, and John, I just don't know, how creative this guy really is to be in this position. He might be good at other things, but you got to have some storylines to mix it up. And he had, a lot of, after that, you had the whole Hardy stuff, but, that was a big part of Billy Corgan. Dave Lagana, I'm not really a huge fan of him either. So we'll see. But I love the fact that we got Sanjay Dutt and Scott D'Amore. Those guys know what to do with women's wrestling, and they know what to do with X Division's wrestling. So I think the matches are going to be really good. The match quality is going to be just the same as we've been getting for the last 6 months. But storyline wise, I do have some concerns about it. I don't know, if these storylines are going to be compelling enough to grab the casual viewer. So I hope I'm wrong, but GFW really has to step up their game now because we're in the football season. And, football in the United States is the biggest sport. So Thursday nights, you're competing against an NFL game every night. So I hope the ratings go up, but they've been kind of on a downhill swing these last few weeks. So let's hope it goes up. Let's hope these Bound for Glory feuds start, taking shape. I know we're only in September, but let's hope the storylines start picking up. But anyways, I'm optimistic. I'm going to see what happens, but I'm not too excited that John Geberg's in there. So anyways, going to our next story, which is a positive one. Yay. Global Force Wrestling has announced the Global Wrestling Network. There's two versions. There is a free version, and there is also a $5.99 version. And with the $5.99 version, you get all the pay-per-views. You get all the shows, all the content they do, all the explosions, all of it. Pretty cool deal. You get Impacts a little later after they debuted. But Robert, what is your impression of the Global Wrestling Network?
I'm looking to sign up. I'm gonna sign up the first day. There's like a pre-launch and it is having like a problem at the moment, but hopefully by Thursday it's gonna be up and running. I'm looking forward to that because I'm looking forward to relive all the great memories from the good old days, 2005, 2006, 2007, all that good stuff. So I'm sold already on the Global Wrestling Network, and things are not as bad. They renew the TV, which I am not ultra happy, but at least they have some stability, I guess. But they're fine. The TV network that they're gonna air the whole show on the network 10 days after the fact. So there must, they have be known agreement, and that means that there's good communication between Pop and GFW. Why? Because if you watch GFW, there's Pop branding all over the place. So you must be, on good terms in order to take that stuff that had your brand and put it somewhere else, without probably asking for too much. So that is a good sign of thing on their working relationship between GFW and Pop TV, who, by the way, on the Global Force Network, they're gonna be adding AAA, and Noah. And by the way, I don't know if you guys kind of catch this, but Ed Northam was tweeting about that he wanted to get Lucha Underground on the GFW network, which leads to this question. Do you think if Lucha Underground goes under due to how expensive is the recording, do you think Global Force Wrestling should buy that tape library? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, Lucha Underground is like I think it's a section of AAA. I don't know how they're, the whole legalities behind that, but I can tell you that, AAA and Lucha Underground are connected some way. And if they do go under, I would love for Impact to buy that because there's a lot of great footage. But as far as your first question about them going on, the network, I don't know if that's possible because of the whole Netflix deal that Lucha Underground has. So that would have to be explored first before anything would transpire. So, but it is a great idea. I mean, it adds more content. It would probably make it more attractive for people to pay the $5.99 a month if they got, another wrestling brand to watch. So, but anyways, what are some of the positive, or I guess, what are some of the negatives that you've heard about the network so far that, you wish maybe they improve upon?
I haven't, for at least for the launching at the moment, it's not running well. And it is, let's say, it looks like it is how can you put it? Like a flash player or something like that. So that it is not, late. It is old technology, but this is what am I seeing? I don't, have the code or anything like that. So I haven't actually entered on that, but from the screenshots that I see, it looks like that. So there might be some buffering issues or something like that, but it is a walking process. I'm not, expecting them to hit a home run every single, week or anything like that. And even, the WWF network at the beginning was not that good, and still to this day loads a lot. So, it is what it is, but I'm more than anything, I am happy that I have all those episodes from the good old days, at my fingertips, literally.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I mean, just seeing all the pay-per-views, and I can't wait to go back and hopefully they'll have the weekly pay-per-views from 2002 to 2004. I would imagine they will put those on there. I'm really excited to watch that. Kind of see the evolution of TNA/GFW. It'd be pretty cool. The one complaint I guess I get is with the pay-per-views. I think if you pay the $5.99 a month, I would like them for you to be able to watch the pay-per-views live with that. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. However, you will be getting a discount on the monthly on the live pay-per-views. So that is kind of cool. At least there's that. Other than that, I guess I don't really have many complaints. Right now, it's only on only a few devices, but it is going to be coming to Roku, and it's going to be coming to the Xbox. So I think I'm going to get it as soon as it comes to the Xbox, because I'm an Xbox player, and that's the one I'll probably be watching it most on. But all in all, I think it's a great idea. I can't wait until they put the AAA stuff and the Crash promotion stuff and the Noah stuff. I mean, there's so many great matches that, were in Noah. It'll be great to see all those different wrestling companies at your fingertips. It's going to be a great thing. So I'm really looking forward to it. So anyways, our last bit of news that we have not talked about yet on the HeelCast, and you kind of mentioned it, was GFW and Pop TV have signed a 1-year extension, and this will take them through the end of 2018. So GFW will remain on Pop I know for some people they were kind of disappointed, but at the same time, I think it's a good thing since Pop is, they're backing GFW. They're doing good things. They're promoting it. The president is happy with the ratings, so I think it's a smart move to stay on Pop, at least for the meantime. I know a lot of people wish they'd get it back on Spike, and I'm sure GFW probably wishes they'd get back on Spike because Spike was paying them good money to be there, but at the same time, you gotta live with what you have, and I don't think Pop is necessarily that bad of a network to be on, especially if you're in the situation as GFW. So, Robert, what is your thoughts on the GFW Pop 1-year extension?
I'm not a fan, a huge fan. Why? Because I don't get Pop TV, and I have to either watch it when they decided to show it on the Fight Network, or be hunting for the episode on nefarious websites or something like that. But I guess it is a extra step that I have to take. But I have done it for almost 2 years because I didn't get Destination America. So add in another year. It is not that much of a added load. However, I found it that it is smart in the way that the Pop TV deal was supposed to end during February, and most of the time TV networks hire new programming and they made the debuts on the fall. That means October. So if we were to play it on on that type of general theory in the way that they do things, that would have meant that GFW would be out of TV for 5 or 6 months, and that would be worse. That would be way worse than staying on Pop TV for a little bit longer. I think they should sign next time around like a 6-month extension. Who, by the way, we don't know how long they're gonna stay on Pop TV. The claim was that they're gonna stay on 2018, but we don't know if the TV contract it is until December. So I will we will know once GFW make that announcement. But I think it is smart to live to fight another day, so to speak. So take that bullet in, stay there 6 months or 1 more year, rebrand, rebuild, and now next time around you can think about hunting down a new deal.
Yeah, I think they did say it was going to go through December of 2018 from the presser from that they put out a week ago. But I totally agree. It's not the best case scenario, but it's better than nothing, So I do think Pop is a better network than Destination America. So at least there's that. So, all right. That's pretty much it for the news this week. It was big.
Alberto, we're missing Alberto and Mysterio.
Oh yes, we can cover that. Alberto El Patron is going to be returning at Bound for Glory. I'm happy with it. I kind of wish he didn't go off TV, but what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah. I hopefully they don't put him once again in the main event spot. As long as they don't put him there for a while, I'm good. I kind of miss hearing him say Bobby. That he always make me laugh when he was cutting promos on Bobby Lashley.
Yes.
It it is good that he's gonna, he's dealing with his stuff and he's gonna be back. Probably as long as they don't put him in the main event, I'm all right with him returning back to GFW.
Yeah, me too. He's a very talented wrestler. I just hope he can get his issues, put aside. It's too bad that, the title was stripped, but now I guess they can have a even better storyline when he comes back, kind of saying that he was wrongfully, stripped of the title. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. As far as Rey Mysterio goes, from what I've heard, GFW and Rey Mysterio, the discussions have ended between the two, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's not going to come. Are you a little disappointed to hear that the discussions between the two have ceased to exist?
I think, to be honest, it is like a strategy. I don't think they have stopped talking to each other unless, GFW was blackballing him or offering a back deal, or if only, let's say, Mysterio was interested in coming in to have a big feud with Alberto. So that could be, the explanation, but I don't buy it. I do not buy it, to be honest.
So you think it's most likely just a smoke screen, kind of?
Yeah, that's a negotiation tactics. They use that type of stuff so they can get a better deal.
Right. No. And also one of the other last news that we should probably mention is Rosemary. We all know what happened with her and Sexy Star at Triple Mania. But Rosemary is medically cleared to come back to the ring. So as GFW fans, we won't even know that she was injured. So that's a good thing. And hopefully she will have a match at Bound for Glory, which is November 5th, by the way, if any of you were still curious as to when it's going to happen. But it will be November 5th. So, all right, Robert, we had an Impact this week. It started off with a tag team match. Sanjay Dutt and P.D. Williams versus Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley. What did you think of this match?
Cool stuff. The way that I kind of perceive it was the second wave of X Division wrestlers, meaning Sanjay Dutt and P.D. Williams against the new blood of X Division wrestlers, Trevor Lee and Caleb Conley. So I kind of like that, new school versus old school kind of, being one of the layers in the storyline. Not something that obviously they are talking about on TV, but something as you as the fan, long-time fan are, looking upon. I like the ending, Peter Williams hitting the Canadian Destroyer, and then Sanjay Dutt doing the kill shot by doing a top rope splash. I enjoyed the match, and especially I enjoyed the finish.
Yeah, I thought the match was pretty solid between the two, and I love the fact that Caleb Conley has, he's kind of taken on the Trevor Lee look, just kind of going plain black tights. It just kind of helps him develop as a heel, and it helps him, distinguish himself. To make sure, it tells you that him and Lee are a team, and I really do like that. I think Sanjay Dutt and P.D. Williams work really well together. They are originals. And by the way, I thought it was hilarious when Josh Matthews started complaining about all these originals coming back once they were hearing the great things that GFW was doing. And then he goes, the comment of the night, he goes, "Where were you when we were on Destination America?" I love that shot that he gave to them. So that was just great. Just really well done there by Josh Matthews. But anyways, the match was good. It was a solid X Division match. And, next week it was announced that we're going to get it was a street fight between Trevor Lee and Sanjay Dutt. So that's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that. But anyways, the next match we had was Zachary Wentz and John Boland, two guys we never really heard of. They're going to be taking on LAX, Ortiz and Santana. What do you think of that?
I'm not a huge fan of squash matches, just because we saw once last week. But it is always fun seeing LAX in the ring. They are building upon the now a feud between LAX versus OVE that they're gonna have a match this next week on Impact Wrestling. That is gonna happen on September 14, 2017. So it is good to see them, but I don't know. How do you feel about OBE being on that main tag team spot?
I don't like it. I think OVE has been really pushed hard, and I don't think they've necessarily deserved the spot they've been in. I haven't been really into their matches. I think they're very spot heavy, and their matches just don't seem to flow that well together. Granted, they've really only faced Falaba and Mario Baccara, and that's all they've really beaten. I wish there was a level of, you had to actually, beat some teams, to kind of earn your shot. But I mean, GFW hyped them up, so they kind of have to. There really was only one way to go with this. So, not too big on OVE though, as of right now. And I mean, obviously the match on Impact, LAX just destroyed Zachary Wentz and John Boland, so there wasn't really any competition there. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm not really digging OVE right now. What about you?
Yeah, I'm not digging. It is not that I'm not digging them. I think they are not like a good pair together. I think the money match is the new LAX versus the old LAX. That is a big time money match, and I think the good pairing for OBDE would be something like let's say the Motor City Machine Guns, or if the Wolf were around, something like that. OBE versus the Wolf. That is a good pairing. But I think LAX and OBE, it's kind of missing, something. I don't know what is, but I don't think they, let's say, match well, as they don't come across as people that you wanna wrestle each other at this moment in time. Maybe in the future, yes, but at this moment in time, it feels rushed.
Yeah, I agree. There's ways to go about it. And I feel like OVE has just been rushed to the title scene. There's got to be other tag teams they got to go through first before they get a tag team title shot. I don't like a team coming in there and just, demanding a tag team title shot. And they say they're the best tag team in the world. But, I mean, man, they haven't really approved it, and there's other tag teams in GFW, that we could be getting that could kind of build OVE up. That's just the problem. I just don't think they're built up well enough. I think they should have had a feud with, Veterans of War, or maybe even a returning Reno Scum. Who, there's other tag teams out there that they could have had a feud with. So To me, this just feels a little rushed. I mean, it's cool that they're going to wrestle in Tijuana, but it's just too quick. And this team has not really impressed me. And when you said Motor City Machine Guns, unfortunately, they're in Ring of Honor. I would love to have them come back someday. And the Wolves, obviously, Davey's gone. Eddie's still doing his thing, but he won the Noah title, so I don't think we'll really be getting them back together anytime soon. But I get what you're saying. I mean, those two teams were just tremendous. So, anyways, our next match we had this one was kind of crazy. We had Gail Kim and Allie versus Sienna and Taryn Terrell. What was your thoughts on this match?
I like I'm a fan of Taryn Terrell, especially her facial expressions, and she's always fun to see her. It is always fun to see her in the ring, and having the counterpart to that being Ali, who is a cute girl and blah blah blah. I like seeing both of them working together in the ring. And by the way, what are your thoughts on the Knockouts tag team title? Would you think it is at this moment it is a good idea, or I think there needs to be a better time management with the talent that they have?
So you're asking if would it be a good idea to bring the Knockout tag team titles back?
At this moment in time, yes.
Oh yeah, I would love that. I would love for them to bring the Knockout tag team title. I actually asked Gail Kim on Twitter if they would bring them back, but I never got a response, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it would be great, especially with this, the Global Wrestling Network. If Impact wanted to add another show, now you have the opportunity to do it. I think that would be a great place to do that. I mean, you would have another title, and you could have that division kind of be focused on the network. So, my opinion, I would love to see to answer your question, I would love the tag team titles come back, but they gotta showcase their knockouts a little bit more than they have been recently. Go ahead.
Yeah, we also got on that match the debut of Taya Valkyrie. So she went ahead and went and attacked the big dog in town, which is Rosemary. And I think it is a good pairing. Rosemary is one of the most beloved talent on GFW. So I think that is a good pairing. Why? Because she's not being rushed straight up to the title scene. So that's good. Let us as GFW talent have some time, watching those talent work before they are elevated to the top level. Matt.
Yes, I love Taryn Terrell's new entrance song, by the way. I think it's just awesome. I love her new heel persona. I mean, I'm glad she came back because she's definitely a talented worker, and she's doing a great job right now at playing the heel. As far as the match goes, I think it was a pretty solid match. I think the right team won here to kind of give them the heat that they kind of need. But, Taya's debut was very interesting because I really thought she was coming back she was debuting as a face, but it just never really, she did the swerve and, and then that's kind of caused Rosemary to come out there, and it looks like we're going to have a six woman tag pretty soon. So I thought the segment was really solid, and it was a good knockouts match, even though it was pretty short. So moving on, we got we got low key. We got Jim Cornette came down to the ring, and Jim Cornette was basically saying that Johnny Impact is an international star, and he's going to get the next. He was about to say he was going to get the next title shot, but then Low Key came out, and Johnny Impact was already out there. And basically what happened was Low Key was just furious, and he was showing some passion in his promo. What did you think of that? I thought it was great.
Yeah, his promo was very passionate. Something from Low Key, he came across as, fiery. Something that I haven't, see him on, on TV, at least doing that type of promo. Now next week we are gonna get Low Key versus Johnny Impact, which it is gonna be a good matchup, and that is first time ever, by the way, and it is a number one contenders match. That is interesting. So I'm looking forward to that stuff, and my props and my full salute to Low Key. He brought in that fiery that that this show needed, because obviously it had a lot of video packages, and Low Key doing that kept your attention, and implied that this time around I'm taking this to the next level. So it is interesting to see where all of this is going, but I'm looking forward to that match, to be honest. That is gonna be a good match.
Yeah, I agree. I think, last week we didn't really get to talk about it because we didn't have a HeelCast last week, but Low Key versus James Storm was a phenomenal match. And now we're going to get Johnny Impact versus Low Key. I think this match is going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to it. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a solid match. And I think, the heat between the two really sold it. So I think we're all kind of looking forward to that. So,
Matt, let me ask you a question. Is there a heat between Raven Effect and Taya Valkyrie? Because, I heard on the Wrestling Observer, so it must be true, right? That, he have hit with her because he wanted Johnny Impact, to be his guy. Have you heard those rumors?
Oh yeah. Raven Effect, he's very jealous of Taya Valkyrie, and I think eventually we're going to get a match between the two. I can't wait to see this. I know Raven Effect will fight for Johnny Impact. So, and I think Raven Effect is the underdog in this match, but, he's going to have to bring it. He's going to have to bring it, real good. So, let's give some words of encouragement to Raven Effect on Twitter. I think he can win this. So I'm looking forward to this. So anyways, we had our next segment was Joseph Park and Grado. Not really want to go into detail of this, but Joseph Park pretty much he motivates Grado to call off the wedding with Laurel Von Ness because she's Canadian. So he can't obviously marry her because she's Canadian, and it won't help him become an American citizen. So he calls it. Grado actually talks to her, and he calls it off. And at first, she kind of takes it, well, but then after it starts it starts to look like, the old Laurel's coming back, the crazy one. So what did you think of this?
I'm not a fan of this angle at all. I think the closer, the quicker they close this, the better. You know what I want to see? I want to see, Laura Banes and Tarantino have a little bit of interaction with LBN being, the drunk mess express. That is what I want to see coming forward. But as this whole storyline, Joseph Park, great, blah, I think, they should, finish this as soon as quick as possible, and move on from there. Let bygones be bygones, and that's it.
Right. Yeah, this was kind of shocking how quickly this angle, ended. I think it was funny with a lot of people like trying to rip on GFW when they first saw this angle, because they were like, "Oh, she's Canadian. This makes no sense at all." And obviously GFW knew that the whole time, and I think the smarts got played there. So I think that's pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know exactly what's going to come of this. I don't know if Laurel's going to go back, and I mean, it seems like she's going to go back into crazy mode, and Grado is just, he's going to get just destroyed. So I think that'll be interesting to see where that goes. So not too much to say about this next segment. It just kind of showed the GFW stars competing at Triple Mania. They showed, the Johnny Impact match, which looked really good, by the way. They showed the Rosemary drama. They showed DJ Z and Andrew Everett doing some really cool lucha moves, and they showed the whole beef between Moose and Lashley. What did you think? Oh yeah, and they also showed Jeff Jarrett having a blow up with La Parka. So what did you think of the whole Triple Mania footage that they used?
Yeah, the editing was on point. As much as I criticize on the show the overuse of video packages, they are good. This guy Kevin Sullivan is a beast doing video packages. The first thing that came to my mind is how much I miss DJC. I miss him on seeing him on GFW. I want him to come back as soon as possible. And, in the next set of taping, the same as Bram, who, he had like a tweet earlier today saying that he was being kind of blackballed out of the industry due to the accusations that he got clear. But that's besides the point. The video package about the Triple Mania was good. Even though I was not a fan of the show. I saw the show. I saw it on Spanish. It was not that good. On English is a little bit better, but the Spanish announcement was terrible, and they didn't know about anything outside of Mexico. But seeing La Parca, who is he's still running wild on Mexico, is cool. And seeing him with the chairman of WCW, La Parca, versus the chairman of GFW, Jeff Jarrett. It was kind of fun. It is fun seeing all those guys, and seeing that style of wrestling, and how jam packed the arena gets when they do shows over there on I think that was on Arena Mexico, which it is like 27,000, something like that. It's a quite big arena.
Yeah, it definitely looked packed in there. It looked really cool. Would love to have a TNA show draw that, or a GFW show draw that much, but but it just looked like, I'm not really sure what the whole beef was with Jeff Jarrett. I thought it was kind of funny. I don't know why, in like a real weird sense. I guess he was mad at La Parka, but I don't really know what. And it was just kind of funny how Jeff Jarrett was just like talking about it real calmly. He's like, and just saying like, oh, this is like a normal occurrence for me. Sometimes I get real heated, and sometimes cooler heads would have prevailed there, but I just found that kind of funny. But maybe it is good that Jeff Jarrett is taking a break. But anyways, yeah, we obviously we have Pagano. He's coming to Impact very soon, so I think we're all kind of looking forward to see what he can do. We also got a little highlights of Eddie Edwards winning the NOAH Championship, the GHC Championship, so that's really cool. Also, we had a little segment of Mackenzie Mitchell talking to the standby wrestler Richard Justice, so he looked pretty banged up, but he didn't get called. So anyways, those are just small tidbits. We don't really have to talk about them. But let's go to the main event. We had Eli Drake's first title defense, and it was against Matt Sydal. And I thought it was a really good match. What did you think?
This was almost a pay-per-view quality match. Excellent pairing between. They match well. They have chemistry in the ring. And even though ratings are not up, Eli Drake is doing an excellent job as the ambassador of GFW Impact, and he demonstrated that during this match. He was at the top of his game, and things were enjoyable, and he put his 10,000% out there in the ring as a wrestler and as an entertainer. That is something that I like, and I fully appreciate someone who wants to be the champ and have a lot of pride in being the champion of GFW Impact.
Yeah, I mean, this match was awesome. It was pay-per-view quality. I thought Matt Sydal, gave it his all. I thought Eli Drake, this might have been, if we're talking about best GFW matches of his career, this might have been it. He looked sharp in that ring. Everything looked smooth. He worked really well with Matt Sydal. It was just a really solid match. Now, granted, Eli Drake kind of cheated to win, hitting him with the title, but and then hitting him with the gravy train for the 1, 2, 3. But still, it was a great match. He got heat, and just a great title defense for Eli Drake. So, next week we'll learn more about who he's going to face at Bound for Glory. But the main event was awesome. It was just a really good match. So no complaints there. I enjoyed it. So, overall Impact, what did you think of this Impact overall?
Overall, it was not a bad show. What my problem was, due to having too much video packages, it felt like a stitch if you were to stitch together something. So I had like a let's say a problem with the flow of the show. That I might be the only one who have that complaint. However, next week it looks solid. We're gonna get Johnny Impact versus Loki. We're gonna get Hijo del Fantasma versus EC3. We're also getting Trevor Lee versus Sanjay Dutt for the exhibition title, Falls Count Anywhere. And we are also getting OVE versus LAX from Tijuana, Mexico. So I might have not been, the biggest fan of this show of this week, but next week is looking really, really, really good. And a show that every GFW fan should watch. It is a must-see show.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of on board with you. I thought the wrestling was solid, but there was just I think the pacing was just awkward, and a lot of that had to do with the Triple Mania highlights. But I'm glad they showed it, because Jeremy Borash, I thought, gave some great interviews during those segments. He's like, when we come down to Mexico, you just never know what you're going to get. He said you're going to get some amazing moments, and you're going to get some moments where, things didn't go accordingly. And he was definitely right about that. And, I'm glad they showed it, but this Impact just kind of felt like there wasn't enough storylines kind of going on. There's just more, matches, and the matches were great, but I need both. They both make the ingredients. They both of them make the Impact what it is. So I'm hoping next week we're going to get a little more storyline and more build up to Bound for Glory. But as far as the matches went, I thought they were solid. I'm going to give it a 7 because I don't think it was necessarily a bad Impact. It just wasn't one of my favorites of the year. So it wasn't bad. I mean, some people might rate it lower, but and that's fine. But I think a 7 is just, it was an average Impact, but there was a lot of great matches in it, though. So I want to know, I guess, a question for the people listening to this. I just want to ask a question to you guys. What do you guys think makes a good wrestling show? Do you think it's what you saw in this Impact, or do you think a little more storyline, a little more drama, or are you all for just more of a wrestling match format? Because I don't think the casuals are going to watch a show that's just centered mostly around wrestling, like this show was. And I'm not saying that was the sole reason this rating was 227,000 viewers. I think the NFL definitely did have something to do with that.
And the Hurricane.
Oh yeah, the Hurricane too. That was very. I mean, we had so many hurricanes that hurt as well. So let's hope this week's Impact has a much higher rating. If you're a GFW fan, why weren't you watching? Was it because of the NFL? Was it because of the Hurricane? Just answer that in the comments below. Also answer why you think, what makes a good wrestling show. So that's all I kind of want to leave the people with. Robert, do you have any final comments?
No, not that much. This might have been a missed, but next week is looking good. By the way, I forgot. Garza Jr. is fighting Braxton Sutter next week, which is gonna be probably the first match of Garza Jr. as a single wrestler, who I have very high hopes for him to get up, push. He's very talented, and he had never got the microphone, and he's over already. So imagine once they give him the microphone. So
yes,
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. No. I'm with you there. I'm glad Braxton Sutter's wrestling somebody besides KM or Congo Kong. So I think that's going to be a solid match. I think Garza Jr. is hella talented, and I like Laredo Kid as well. I think he's a great talent. I hope we see a little more of him soon. But I think this upcoming Impact is going to be very solid. I can't wait for it. I do know this. The Texans play the Bengals. That's going to be a terrible NFL game. So Impact has all the opportunity to get some of that ratings back this week. So let's hope that happens. So is that all you have, Robert?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. We hope that you have enjoyed the HeelCast this week. And like I said, answer below what you think makes a great wrestling show. Anyways, as for Robert, for Hurls, the Faptastic one, Ebony, you will be on soon. I guarantee it. We will have an Ebony and Ivory show. But anyways, for the HeelCast, for Raven Effect, for GFW Dude, for Griggs, for FK9, For everybody else, Old School Heel, have a great week. We'll see you next week.